Okay, hello everyone. This is Voyager 1. I appreciate you guys coming out, continuing to rock with me. Oh boy. Marathon. Sony, Xbox, switching out CEOs. Where to even begin? Where to even begin? I do not know if I can even keep up with this, because I'm trying to put out articles, but then the same day I put out one article about something else, Xbox decides to switch out the CEOs. Okay. Anyway, let's start out with Xbox. Okay, so Asha Sharma is now the CEO of Xbox games, I suppose. And now Matt Booty has been promoted upwards as well. It wasn't he the guy that managed what was it, Mojang, when they bought that out? Minecraft. They make $400 million a year. Goodness gracious. Yeah, kudos to them, I suppose. So I guess that's natural, because he's taking care of that company when everyone else just wants to make fun of it. Okay, but anyways, she is not a gamer. I can tell that pretty much already, just taking a look at her resume. Here's the thing though, and I'll make this very quick, because I want to get on to Marathon as well. Here's the thing. I think that new blood technically does help for companies, for the company side. And it may take some gamers to be a tad bit more patient. Well, try to be a tad bit more patient with these folks. It's mainly because of business, to be honest with you. They need a Hail Mary. That's what they need. Xbox needs a Hail Mary. And there's no one else really who's able to manage that. Apparently, she has some good reputation with Meta. She helped Instacart, so there's that. It's just all about what they're looking for and not what gamers are looking for in terms of business. Because if gamers had their way, they probably would have kept Phil Spencer. But however, Phil kind of failed at certain things of the business, especially right after acquiring Activision Blizzard for $73 billion. How are you going to pay that back? How are you going to get that back? And at the worst time possible, Black Ops 7 dropped on Game Pass, and it made things even worse, because the game is just terrible. It's just a terrible game. So there's that. And also, on these topics, I have some articles posted on them already. You can check those out in the description right down below. Okay? Now I want to get on to Marathon. Just for a moment. Okay? I played it last night, and I watched in real time how people thought about the game, and they gave their thoughts about the game online, on X, and on YouTube, as the hours came and went, as the player count reached like 140,000 on Steam. That's just Steam alone. Now nobody can say that we didn't give this game a chance. Nobody can say that we didn't give this game a chance. Nobody, right? Of all of Sony's obsession with live service nowadays, closing down studios and then propping this one up, you would think that they will take their time even further to make sure that the game is just as well received as Helldivers 2. This is an extraction shooter, PvP VE. Okay, that means 3v3 teams, 2 of those, and then you have the extraction part, which is you're going onto territory with the mobs, the enemies of the game. You shoot them about as much as you shoot the other team. Okay, when I was playing that, there was no PvP. It was just PvE, because the other team wasn't found yet, or I didn't hit the right map, or something of the sort. Okay, the UI is a mess. I don't even know what happened to that. I don't know what happened. Why is the settings button on the far side here Why? And I have to scroll around on the screen like the stupid cursor just to hit it. That is tedious, that's annoying, especially on console. Why do that? Why? They brought it straight over from Destiny 2. Straight over. Okay, that's not even the worst part of it. The worst part of it is the game is boring. Okay? I mentioned Helldivers 2. I mentioned that for a reason, because in Helldivers 2, you don't just do bland extraction missions. What you do is you're on the territory of alien worlds, essentially, and you have to wipe them out in waves upon waves upon waves. You have all this arsenal with you. You have all these guns. You can summon guns from or turrets rather, and bombs and eagles from your destroyer ship, right? It's a very, very lore heavy type of game as well. You can understand the lore of Helldivers 2 because they make it so easy for you, right? The user interface is perfect. It's perfect. All you gotta do is hitting some commands, right? And then you can summon something. These objectives and Marathon, get this. The objectives in Marathon, while you're doing the extraction missions, are just wipe out a enemy team or a mob team, right, at their territory, and then extract. That's the game loop for Marathon. Supposedly. Ain't trying to tell me these are the same creators of Halo. Don't give me that. Not even the same creators of Destiny, because how many times have they had layoffs? How many times have they had struggles trying to get to us, trying to tell us the story? At least Destiny has a story campaign. At least Destiny has strike raid. When you finish with the story, you can go into the strike raid or death match. You can do all those type of things that they have. At least they have those, like expansion packs. You get a whole bunch of them before they lock them into the vault. But at least you had more than one mode. For the moment, Marathon, this Server Slam, only has one mode, and it's barely 3v3, right? And then you have the mobs to take care of, the how you say non-playable characters, the robots to take care of, right? And speaking of story, what is the story of Marathon? What is that? They gave us a beautiful, albeit beautiful, opening intro. I would say it's just about as good as Destiny's 2 opening intro, right? It is a exposition dump, essentially telling you the whole entire story. I'm more interested in that than I am in this multiplayer component that's barely even finished and don't even have meaningful objectives that make it feel like I actually accomplished something that seemed like impossible, right? Now, you may be listening to me, you may be hearing that I sound like a single player person, because I am. I play mostly single players, right? And I'm getting tired of these live service games being tossed in my direction, because apparently single player games like Spider-Man or Persona or something like Bloodborne is too expensive to make. Too expensive to make. Just one second. I have a question. Why are you spending $450 million for Spider-Man 2? Who asked you to do that? Who asked you to do that? Nobody. I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't even play the game because I don't want to play the game. It's an asset flip. How in the world you spend $450 million and expect to break even? How do you do that? That makes no sense whatsoever, right? It annoyed me that they're putting blame on us for why things are more expensive when they're the ones who just running up the bag. It's not my fault that Spider-Man 2, and in general to me, it looked like an asset flip. right? Because that's what you do with these sequels. That's what you do with these sequels. When you wanted to make a DLC, like God of War Ragnarok, you just make a full game and then you run with it, right? And you put more annoying things that people didn't like about the first game into the sequel, and you just call it a day. And you running up a bag. It has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with the Marvel fandom that look to play those games either on PC or on console. That has nothing to do with me. That's entirely on you, Sony. That's entirely on you. And then you close down with Blue Point, right? See, somebody needs to be up there and say no to Herman Holst. Somebody needs to be up there and say no to him. Because I'm getting sick and tired of single player games. We just want games that look good, that's it. And then we'll play them for the moment. We'll enjoy them, right? They have their place in history, and then we'll move on to the next. $60 here or $70 here, okay? It doesn't make sense to spend $450 million on a game that's only 20 hours. It doesn't make sense. But you want to run off at the mouth and saying, oh, it's just our single player games, they cost too much. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? I'm not the one greenlighting those games. I'm not the one greenlighting those games. What is it, the licensing? The license, the rights, they increased along with inflation? What are you trying to say with that? What are you trying to say? So it's not our fault. It's not. You can't blame creators. You can't blame gaming culture, which is what that high guard dev tries to make it seem like it's not us. Not us. We have far more power than you think, than you're willing to give us credit for. Okay? We can say yes or no to a game, right? For various amounts of reasons. And I have a feeling that people who are going to say no to Marathon, even though it's $40 when it is $40 when it comes out. Say people who are going to say no to Marathon are the same ones who said no to High Guard. They're the same ones who said no to Concord. The same ones, right? Because we're tired, we're annoyed, we're frustrated. There is no transparency of what's on Herman Holst's mind and him making a decree or declare what changes they're going to make as company-wide for us to understand. There's none of that, right? There is no explanation of how half of this even works. You have to dig into your own, you have to do detective work just to figure out what they're trying to do. Do all this detective work, right? So for the people who are upset about Blue Point, I didn't forget about Blue Point in this video, but I'm just saying, if you're upset about Blue Point, then I'm shutting them down. You're upset at how we could have had a Jak and Daxter remaster. You're upset of how we could have had a Bloodborne remaster. Well, don't buy Marathon. Save yourself the $40. Save yourself the $40. That's all you have to do. That's it. Pretty much. Put your money where your mouth is and just don't buy the game. You know what you could buy? You could buy Resident Evil 9 Requiem. You could buy another pack, a War Bond pack for Helldivers 2. You could just buy Neo 3, right? I have the Steelbook edition, and it's the same price as the standard. Just go get the Steelbook if it's still available, right? Just play those games. Just play those games. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. Yeah, play Neo 3.